What's going on, fellow A-plusers? It's your boy Adam Perez. I'm back today with a brand new reaction video. It's been a while since we had a featurette or an interview to sit back and certainly watch. But a couple days ago, as we continue to get prepared for the next part of the Batman saga, we've got the upcoming Max original series in The Penguin that begins, I believe, next week, if I'm not mistaken, next Thursday or Friday. On Max. And so to go ahead and certainly get prepared and get ready for the series, I've been highly anticipating the return to this Batman world that Matt Reeves went ahead and created. I was really impressed with Colin Farrell as the Penguin in the first Batman film, and now he gets himself a limited series, if you will. I think he's such an incredibly talented actor. I don't know if he's won any Oscars. I know he's definitely been nominated for some, but I'm definitely eager, regardless, to see what the Penguin is certainly going to offer us here. And so they have a 5-minute featurette that wind up dropping a couple days ago that I want to go ahead and dive into. It's a Colin Farrell along with Matt Reeves discussing this series itself. So let's just go ahead and dive right in and see what they're talking about here. Let's get this hype level started for this show, shall we? So let's go ahead.
I really wanted the story to begin the week after the movie, where the Penguin, who is completely underestimated, grabs for power in this power vacuum.
Maybe it's time for a rewatch.
I loved playing the character in the film and designing the shape of Oz's body and his costume, and the whole thing was such a team effort. To only have 6 to 7 scenes in the film, I thought, is there any world we can do more?
Yeah, 6 or 7 scenes in the whole film. Now looking back on it, I guess he's not like huge role in it, but his roles that he has is definitely impactful, to certainly say the least. But I tell you, man, every time I see the prosthetics and just the makeup design, it just goes back to me remembering when I saw the trailer for the first time, thinking to myself, I know Colin Farrell's in this movie. Where is he? Like I could not figure out for the life of me who he was playing, because the makeup job was just so that good. Was that good until somebody actually pointed it out to me, and I was like, oh my god, like that's Colin Farrell. What an impressive look. So yeah, I'm really eager. So a week since the conclusion of the Batman, this might be time for a rewatch.
The way the Penguin functions in the Batman is that he's a little bit of a red herring. What I really wanted to do was build that story out. So that's really the birth of the show.
Oz was not in the movie that much, so there was ripe opportunity to really explore him in a deeper way.
And really get to try and understand his psychology. And so it's an extension of the Batman film. It's exploring a very different world, whereas the Batman lived in the upper echelons of the social structure of Gotham. This is down in the gutter.
Nice.
The world ain't set up for the honest man to succeed. That should be a beautiful story with a happy ending. But that ain't the way the world works.
We get to see a different side of Gotham, though.
First off, the waddle is absolutely fantastic. Watching him walk in here. And I also love getting to see Penguin really get his hands dirty. It's almost like he's a one-man army trying to do the dirty work in order to really get where he needs to be.
Those that are really affected by the corruption of the city.
To me, what was very important is this idea of the high and the low. The idea of the parts of the city that are insulated, and then the people who are struggling just day to day to get by. The Penguin is really looking at the profound corruption of Gotham. It's a kind of a dark American dream story, really.
There are many gangs within Gotham, and they're all vying for real estate, and they're all vying for the drug trade.
I thought about who should be potential antagonists.
Oh, before we even get into her, because I think outside of Colin Farrell as the Penguin, I'm really eager to find out about her, the daughter to was it Falcone, if I'm mistaken. I'm really interested to see that. But I am also really fascinated about what Matt Reeves kind of points out in regards to showcasing the two different worlds of Gotham, right? Where you've got the rich and the powerful, and you come across the bridge. And I love just the visuals of just how incredibly dirty Gotham is, right? And like just how people are trying to live their everyday lives, and just how corrupt and just terrible their lifestyle is, just because of no help, if you will, from those in power.
Antagonist against Oz. What Matt established in the movie is that Carmine Falcone, who dies in the film, has a family. There's Alberto Falcone and there's Sophia Falcone.
My father's been dead a week. You want to take what's mine?
Carmine knew that Sophia was the smartest. He wanted her to really carry on the family. Dylan and I were very excited about how we could embody this rise to power of Oz in this battle of wills and who is going to come out on top.
Oh, man.
You know, Oz, people underestimate you, but not me. I've always known you were capable of more.
Ooh, that's fascinating. So we got two people that are clearly vying for power, right? Like one person that almost feels it's her right, and like she's just the next person up because of the fact that she's the daughter of Falcone. Clearly smart and brilliant, but clearly when you got somebody like the Penguin who's trying to make more of himself and work his way up to being sort of the big boss of Gotham, now he's got some competition in his way. He probably thought, like, I don't want to say this was going to be a breeze, but now the fact that Falcone's daughter comes onto the scene, I mean, look at that face, dude. Look at that face. He hates it.
Oz always struggled in his life, so he's savvy in some ways in relation to the cruel mathematics of how the world works.
What is it you're really after, Oz?
I want what's mine.
When I first started to dissect Oz and figure out what was driving him, my realization was, I think he wants to be loved and revered. To me, that the deeper root issue would come from his mother. I wanted to write an interesting, complicated, tough as nails broad. And so I created Frances for that.
What you did wasn't impulsive. It was instinctual. This city is meant to be yours, sweetheart. What are you going to do to get it?
Man, I tell you, those mother-son relationships are always so incredibly powerful, man. So incredibly powerful. I love the fact that she uses that relationship as like the root of Oswald's, I don't want to say issues, but what certainly motivates and drives him. And then to have somebody like his mother tell him things like that, and almost he certainly believes it, you know?
The morally corrupt individual that is Oz, seeking ambition in the city, that was always sort of the blueprint for the character. And inside of that was an exploration that is deep, emotional, disturbing, and also exciting in an entertainment way, much like all great gangster movies or television shows.
Yeah. And 2.0.
Over the course of the show, these characters become larger than life in multiple different iterations.
They are all faced with the same decisions that we all have to make. They just choose different actions that we could never choose.
Love that car too.
Oz knows the world is a cruel place, and you either get to live beneath the cruelty as a victim of it, or impose the cruelty on those who deserve it more than you.
These characters have been through tremendous trauma, and the idea about
down.
how all of that resonates against a place, and that Gotham is this place where people can live these forsaken lives. And it creates these lives of tremendous desperation, and it creates an emotional violence that ends up spilling out into the world of that city in physical violence. I think all of that, to me, is an exciting way of taking something that is this familiar pop, iconic, mythic place, fictional place, and trying to find a way to make it relate to the real world.
You know, let me just also say this real quick, since we are talking about the Penguin. You know, Matt Reeves said something interesting here in the sense of trying to make it relate to the real world. And I feel like the timing of that is absolutely perfect to discuss, because I have been seeing some people give some pushback on the concept of Batman being so grounded lately, right? Like the past couple of installments of the Batman movies have been by Matt Reeves, Christopher Nolan, Zack Snyder, if you will. And especially when it comes to individual solo films for Batman, Christopher Nolan and Matt Reeves have really done their part to try and make Batman feel more grounded and not as fantastical. And look, I think the truth of the matter is I think you can go either route, right? Like, I'm a fan of Batman: The Dark Knight. I personally think that's a better movie than the Batman, but some would say the Batman is like the perfect Batman sort of film, right? Like, based off of him being a detective, that noir style kind of detective style kind of works for that movie, right? So some people would say, oh, even though it's grounded, it's pretty true to the character. Whereas, I think something like Dark Knight, while maybe not as grounded, is certainly a little bit more cinematic in feature, right? More action driven, more drama, if you will. And so I think, you can look at something like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Those are clearly a little bit more fantastical, right? The stuff that Tim Burton wind up doing, a little bit more fantastical. So I do think that there's a room for every type of Batman, but the way Matt Reeves really puts it, in the sense of trying to make it relatable and something that makes us, I think, especially in the time period where we are now, where especially like the wealth gap in this world is so drastic, more drastic than it's certainly ever been. I think the concept of what's going on with Gotham is as, if any time more than any, like, at any time more than now, is super relatable. Having the elites and then sort of everybody else that's struggling to kind of make it. And so I kind of appreciate the vision that Matt Reeves certainly has when it comes to what he's trying to do with this Batman saga. And look, I was a huge fan of The Sopranos. I love a good gangster movie any day of the week. You put Colin Farrell in here with his penguin accent and that waddle in the world of the Batman and what Matt Reeves has created. I'm here for it, man. I honestly cannot wait for this limited series. I don't believe there's plans on a season 2, but I do believe, according to Matt Reeves and Colin Farrell, the Batman Part 2 will pick up directly after the Penguin, or maybe a short period of time, but they definitely will flow into each other. But I'm loving what I'm hearing when it comes to the Penguin. I'm glad that got the opportunity to not only hear from Colin Farrell, Matt Reeves, but also the directors and the showrunner for this show. And good luck to them, man. But the Penguin certainly will be dropping for you guys September 19th on Max. Mark your calendars, and we'll see it when it drops. If anything, we'll probably be doing a review for the channel as well, so stay tuned to that. But in the meantime, do me a big favor, as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.